Some programming again. Today I want to be focused on my SVG, my document rendering library, my CAD stuff. I've been working away at getting the 2D path stuff working. I still have outstanding issues with the ARC implementation. I have no solution for that at the moment, so I'm actually going to, I have a note of it and I'm not abandoning it, but I want to move on and start cleaning up a few things in the library, in the code base, and just start working on the 3D sort of functions that I really. So 2D is great and it can be useful for a lot of different things, but I'm really quite keen on having a 3D set of tools. Now I had some rough work in before, so I don't necessarily have to start from scratch, but I certainly have to do a bunch of cleanup and maybe some simplifying. So I'm gonna just poke around with that today and see where things take me. So that's the state of things. Now, briefly, before I was streaming, so this is an example. This is a nice working Bezier curve. Really nice in my opinion. It looks cool. Pardon me. But so right here, this is actually not as crazy as it looks. If I just get rid of this, all it is a it's a randomized point set. It's just 100 points, and I have this idea for a build I want to do that involves 3D parametric surfaces in 3D space that are triangulated using probably a Delaunay triangulation or something like that. So I just set up this very basic thing and just tried, well, what does it look like if I partition a random point set into 3 and then draw triangles with those? And this is obviously what you get, right? There's no intelligence behind the selection of triangles, and you get all kinds of crisscrossing, right? So it's not a useful triangulation. So I was looking into Delaunay triangulation and the algorithm for that. Certainly I could figure out how to implement it, but I don't think I'm ready enough to do that on stream. So I was maybe going to touch on that, but I'm going to guess probably that's for another day. But that's all that this is. This points test thing is just some weird little extra experiment in my brain. So I'm not going to get too far into that, maybe, at least on stream anyway. So I think the first thing I'm actually going to do is go ahead and start cleaning up this file a little bit. And by that I just mean, if I go into my SVG implementation here, I have path helpers here, but I also have, oh shoot, sorry, I gotta go through here. Okay, so I have path helpers there, and if I scroll down to here, I also have a bunch of path stuff. So I want to consolidate those things because it's a little confusing. I also think I should rename things quickly. Basically, I gotta shuffle a few things around. Should be fine, but I have to do it. Let me go ahead and load file SVG. Okay, so it loads fine. If I were to just cancel or just comment out a function and load this, it should give an error? No. Oh, okay, so never mind. It's not trying to run the code, it's just trying to load the things into the working environment, basically. So forget that. Right, so what's the correct approach here? We have shapes here. Path. Okay. Right, so transform key value to string. Right, it takes a key and a value. I forget where these functions get used, but I think they do. Let me check something for a moment. I don't know what this is called. Not stack trace. Go to definition or something like that. Let's see. Hey Emerson, how are you? Let's see here. Hope you're doing well. In public, so you can't hear anything, but I like to watch your stream. Perfect. Here, let's just nice heart. Oh boy. Let's see there. The laptop that I stream from has very slow response when the stream is actually live, because it's using all of its power, basically, I guess. Anyway, right, so I'm just wondering here, pardon me. Cider. I've never read the full documentation of this yet. It's a tool I use every day, and this is not for on stream. This is got a lot of work to do behind the scenes. That's okay though. Right, so let me think about how I want to approach this. So I have these path helpers. Probably I want to let me move them entirely. Cut. Then I'll paste it into the path part right here. Let's see if that compiles okay. It should, I think. Let's actually even restart this. Oh, this I also got these algorithms earmarked for a later time. Oops. I don't need that here, I need it here. There we go. Okay, so it looks like things compile just fine, which is an important thing. Hey, okay, perfect. Excellent. Okay. Right, so, oh, that's the wrong mouse. Jeez. Okay. I kind of wonder if I should. Okay, so string helpers. It's a little frustrating that the names are inconsistent, but what's that called? There must be something that it's called where you automatic definition updates or something like that. What would it be called? I have no idea what to search for. Clojure, change defin symbol and automatically update source code. I have no idea what that's called. No. Ugh. Well, whatever. I'll figure that one out later. That doesn't matter. Let me see here. This, switch it to, oh boy, there we go. Okay. All right, let's start by going through here. Goals, concept, workflow, structure, and ideas. Okay, that's fine. The design work is always needing improvement, but okay. Theme is good. Geometry. For right now, this is fine. SVG here. This is the big ticket for the moment. Okay. Hey, Dr. Zonk, how's it going? Let's see here. This one I think I already successfully don't need. Let's find out. Okay, let's attempt to, let's see here. If I do a closed path right here. Hey, you're doing well, that's great. I'm also doing pretty good. I'm a little I got stuff on my mind that's distracting me a little bit, but that's fine. It just takes a minute to get into the flow of programming, you know, so it's all good. It is all good. Let's see here. If I change this to, just to see what happens, if I do, oh, now you can hear me? Nice. Glad you could join us in the audio world. Let's see. Okay, so there we go. This closed path function works, but I haven't changed it to... okay, that's good to know. I have to fix this. Unless it's just a matter of refreshing the page. Nope, I did in fact break it, which is just fine. Oh, you're next to Dr. Zonk. Oh, nice. Nice stuff. You guys playing games right now, or working, or just relaxing? Whatever you're doing, hope you're having a good time. Okay, so we're back to a working path here, but I need to have a look at the closed path function, which would be up here, I do believe. Yes. Right, so this actually, I actually should move it now that I realize something. Pardon me. Okay, so split here, Bezier, and then this Bezier should be closed path, or polygon path, polygon and polyline path technically. So let me paste there. Oops. Train just moved next to us. I was just asking what you guys were doing, if you were playing games or something like that. But it would appear that you're sitting in a train station or something like that, waiting for a train. That's my guess. That's my guess. Okay. So this closed path function is using this old function here, closed path string, which I can replace with, what was it here? Here, this. And now I'm trying to remember where my head was at when I wrote this so that I know how to replace it properly. Train's coming in 22 minutes, just chilling and waiting for the train. Nice. That's I think you guys are in Germany, right? If I remember. Maybe I'm wrong, but I lived in the Netherlands for 2 years before I moved back to Canada, and one of the things I really miss about living in Europe in general is reasonably good transit. Like that you can sit and wait for a train and that's pretty normal is really nice. It's not quite like that in a lot of places in Canada, so I kind of miss that. I mean, trains aren't perfect, don't get me wrong, but I like them. I happen to think they're great. Man, quit. Okay. Ugh, I didn't mean to do this. I don't need this. There we go. Okay. Okay, closed path takes any number of paths, which is actually yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so paths, you have to map. Yeah, okay, so can't host the stream. I don't know if that's something that's wrong on your end, or I didn't change anything on my end. I mean, I appreciate it. That's awesome, but don't worry if you can't get that working. I don't think that's anything on my end that's wrong, the hosting. I didn't change anything anyway. I appreciate the effort though, but no worries, no worries. Let's see. Okay. We have here. Come on, my brain is not connecting to what I wrote. This happens sometimes where you write some code and like it's fine code, it works and everything, and it's reasonably well thought out, but you just totally forget where your head was at when you wrote it, you know? And so you have to kind of redo it in your brain. Almost. Seems crazy, but that's how it goes sometimes. What is happening? What just happened? That, okay. Things are jumping around and I don't like it. Okay, there we are. We've got this kind of working. Okay. I think that's fine. Okay, closed path string. Takes an M and points. It takes points right where M is the first point. That's all that's doing. Yeah. Okay, so path to path string expects path string to path. Oh, I'm in the wrong namespace. Oh, of course, I have to load the namespace now. Eesh. That's okay. Let's load it up. Okay, that's good. Right, so I have path to path string. Fail, yeah, okay, that's fine. So what I need to do is create, okay, so I have it now. I actually have to make this closed path function actually work. So it hasn't been fixed yet from the new method, so that has to be changed, obviously. So in order to do that, what I need to do is Right, so here, what I actually have to do here right, so the paths in this case okay. I have to think a little bit differently about this. Okay, so what do I call this? Closed path string, like this is what I should do. Yeah, and then yes. Okay, right, so what I'm doing here for the Bezier and the where am I looking here? And the arc, they both generate a string, and then I wrap that in the generic path function, right? So path takes a string and then returns this data structure. Right, so what I have to do is mimic that behavior. Instead of running closed path directly, I need to run closed path string, and it's going to take points like this, m and points, I think that makes sense. And then all it needs to do is this kind of structure here. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. So we do m string is just string of m. Oh, sorry. Once again. Like that. And then L string is going to be string well, now I have to double check here. Yeah, I have to do something like this. Which is apply partial string with the L leader over partition. If I do rest of points, is this going to make sense? I may have messed this up, but we'll find out. We shall see. Messing things up isn't great, but it's kind of fine. Because we can always work on it and fix it. Okay, so that's the let statement, and then all I have to do is string m string with L string. Okay, let's see if this works. Right, so let's imagine a closed path. Did I def A already? User / A, is that set of points? Okay. Okay, that's not correct, which is fine. Let me def A as a list of points. Let's go 0, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70, 80. Just for kicks. Okay. Oh, and actually this should be, it's more fun if it's double every time. That's kind of cool. That's cooler. Okay, so that's fine. So if I run closed path string over A, it gets the correct thing for this, but then everything else is a lazy sequence, right? So what I have to do is make it not that way to be scientific about it. Okay, closed path string. Let's actually rearrange it to be that way. Okay, it almost works. Except it doesn't. Okay, let's have a look here. I don't need to partition at all, I don't think, eh? I've thoroughly confused myself, which is a great place to start. But I do need to figure this one out. Okay, so just like with these things here, right, let's have a look at, let's change the name of work in progress cubic. Let's just make it actually a cubic because it is a cubic. Yes, cubic Bezier. And then this one I think can go away because this can be any number of cubics or any number of points 4 or greater. This one can only take 4 points. So if I get rid of this, that cleans up that section of code a little bit, which is good. Then I go here, I have to call this now cubic Bezier. Could not analyze. That would be because of what? Closed path does not exist. Oh. Okay. Well, let's fix that by making an old one here. And paths. Paths be map closed path to string, which is the function I'm working on getting rid of, but I'll leave it alone for the time being. It's not a transform, it would be here. Closed path string still exists. And this function was closed path string. You map that over paths to get the paths string. And then all you do is right, you do that should be it there, right? Then all you do here is you call path with apply string to interpose new lines between paths. I think that should work. Okay, let's refresh this, see if it works. Forgot to save this. It's still broken, which is fine, kinda. Okay, get a compile warning, which is, there we go. Okay, so we've got things halfway working again. Very not perfect, to say the least. Because if I turn this into a closed path, it doesn't work. That's surprising, actually. Why doesn't it work? Cubic, Bezier. Okay, we're in a situation that works there. I don't know why that's the case. Good thing I'm working on cleaning this up, so it very clearly needs some work. Right, so cubic Bezier uses the path function, apply string interpose, which I have here, path, apply string interpose, new line on paths. Okay, let's do myself a little favor here and run it in the REPL and just see what's going on here. How about that? That usually elucidates a thing or two. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so we have the situation where it's working up until that lazy sequence makes its way into there. And so that's an issue that I have with, what am I looking at here? This closed path string function isn't even working properly. Right, closed path string should take a set of points, right? It's this map partial string L thing that doesn't seem to work. You need to convert the lazy seek to string. Hi, Lambda SGR, by the way. Thanks for the follow a little while ago, by the way. S/join. So I'm trying, that might be, I'm trying to unwind what I've done. I thought I had this part working earlier. I'm trying to figure out where the lazy sequence is actually coming from, following my own logic here. You know how that goes. Sometimes you write some code and then you put it away and then you get back into it and your brain's not connecting to it anymore. You might be right though, but I want to, before I change too many things, I want to get my own mind back on track. So apologies if I don't take your input directly, you know? So thanks anyway though, I do appreciate it. I'm assuming your screen name is pronounced Lambda SGR. I don't know. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Regardless, no problem. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. Doesn't matter. Yeah, most people are okay with slight mispronunciation here and there, but it's it's nice to get things right if you can. But anyway, I saw the lambda in there and figured that was something related to, and this is a Clojure heavy stream. I figured it was related to a lambda calculus type stuff and programming. It seemed to make sense to me. I might be way off base there. It might be a pure coincidence. Okay, I've thoroughly derailed myself. I love it. Okay, so closed path string. What is happening here? Right? It does this function just fine on a point. This works, right? Yep. And now let me check. This is, I think, where things are going a little bit wrong. So let's have a look at that. Right, if I def b as partial string with L, and I run b on a point, okay, that is working. So if I map b over some list of points, it should theoretically produce a sequence of those. Yeah, that's fine. And then if I do apply string to that, it should make them all a string, and it does. So here, apply string interpose. Let me try this now. Oops. Oh hey, I have to actually tell it what to interpose, of course. Smiley face. Oh, is that sorry, you sent a smiley face. I'm assuming that's because I was guessing correctly about the lambda stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna take my foot out of my mouth and just say, I noticed that you followed my channel while I was offline. It's in the little list thing here. So I said thanks very briefly. I really do appreciate the follows, and every single follow is helpful to me. So sincerely, thank you for that. It's really nice. Do you do any programming yourself? I occasionally ask this to people who might be tuned in and watching, because I'm just kind of curious the type of people that click and actually watch a programming stream, because it's not necessarily people who do a ton of programming themselves. So it's just a curiosity. Feel free to answer if you want. If you don't want to, that's cool too. Yeah, you're doing mostly Clojure right now. Nice stuff. Are you a professional programmer, like you do like as part of your career or anything like that? Because I don't know if you're aware, but I'm 100% self-taught, so there may very well be things that you notice that are atypical or perhaps silly. Oh, you're working on your PhD? Woo, that sounds fun. I mean, I'm assuming PhD sounds pretty cool. Hopefully it's fun for you. Not sure if that's professional. I guess it counts, probably. I would say so, but I'm not the arbiter of what counts as professional, really. No, of course that's professional. Of course. I've never done a PhD myself. It crosses my mind that maybe I should figure out a way to pursue something like that at some point. But there's a lot of stuff going on in my life that makes me hesitant, you know? I don't need to get into all that though. That sounds cool. Hopefully you're enjoying things, you know? Not necessary? A PhD? You don't think so? All right, let's see if I can get to the bottom of this thing here for a minute. How about that? It really depends. I suppose so. I mean, it's just been you don't want to distract me? Oh, hey, you know, it's totally my decision to read chat or not. So if you want to chat and talk about stuff, you go right ahead. It's totally no problem. Really, if I need to seriously focus on some stuff, I will either ignore the chat for a bit or work offline. It's okay to kind of flow in and out casually with conversation. I don't mind. You're procrastinating? Well, maybe I'm the one that's distracting you then. Then in which case, I apologize. So what are you using? Nah, no worries. Okay, good. Yeah, if you need to get to work, you just mute or close my tab entirely. It's totally no skin off my teeth or back, whatever the saying is. What are you using? I've never encountered someone doing a PhD using Clojure yet. I'm sure people do, but if you can't talk specifics, what like genre of programming? If I'm just curious, and of course, no response needed if you can't or don't want to. That's totally fine. Okay. Is this a destructuring problem? Let's see here. Oof. My life is falling apart today. There we go. Okay, so if I do closed path string on A, first of A, I have just thoroughly confused myself today. Kind of makes it fun, to be honest. It's a little exciting. It's pretty silly, but okay. So M is taken as. Oh, I'm typing this incorrectly. Of course, that's one of the problems anyway. Okay. What am I even doing? What is happening right now? Right, so this here is incorrect. Now if I do closed path on A, it looks more or less correct here. Wait a second. Oh, I'm also calling the wrong function. Closed path dash string A. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. First of A. Yes, sort of. Apply closed path string to A. There we go. We're getting somewhere now. Okay. You're doing distributed computing. Clojure seems to be fairly well suited for that kind of stuff, from what I've gathered. Rich has sort of a reasonable focus on async related stuff, and like the immutable and functional approaches combined seem to be really useful for doing things across different cores, and then by extension across different, like over a network even, and stuff like that. So it seems like it makes sense. Plus it's a Lisp, yeah. I mean, if you're in academia at all, you have to at least know what a Lisp is, right? That's the impression I get. And I'm joking, but Lisp languages are pretty top notch. I'm kind of a big fan. I like them a lot. Okay, so let me now have a look at this. Okay, there we go. That's working. Okay. So now if I do apply closed path on A, will that work as well? It seems to. No, it's not. I made a mistake. Okay, that's fine. So if I take a look at, right, closed path end paths, map closed path string onto paths. Right, so I don't have to apply like that, I have to do that. But then here, okay, so this should, in fact, I think, be like this. Okay. Now I shouldn't have to do this. This should work now. Okay, that's working. Right, so we go back down to the closed path function. Okay, that looks like it's working correctly now. Good. So we have something working okay. And now we work to replace it. Okay. So this here, closed path string, is a duplication of this closed path string idea here, which is what I'm working to delete because why? Let's see. Let's go like this. As you might be able to tell, things are a little messy at the moment. This is definitely an area where I need to clean things up. But before I do that, I'm going to go to the washroom. I won't be long, a couple minutes maximum. Gotta go. There we go. Okay. I think I drink a little too much coffee, but I like coffee a lot. That's a completely unrelated thought, but I like my coffee. I like my coffee. All right, what am I even doing? What's going on? Is this literally did I just write exactly the same function like a chump? I think I might have. In which case, I forgot what I was trying to do, what I was trying to tell myself with that. Oh, well, I'll just move along. I'm pretty sure these are the same, except for the destructuring. They're not the same. This is incorrect. You know what? Let's this one works. And it's using, I'm pretty sure that's the one that's supposed to work. We'll find out. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and say that's good enough for right now, and then closed path does correctly apply. It does correctly use this string thing on the paths there. So if I run closed path now in this scenario, if I save this so it tangles in there properly, this should eventually work. Okay, so we have a few problems related to, I always am doing this and I don't think it's the smartest on my part here. So I do have to have path before transforms because the transforms, so translate, it relies on some of the functions that I provide in that part there. So I do actually have to tangle it the other way around. What is nice is I'm using org mode, so I can shuffle things around relatively easily. It's one of the reasons I like it, because my brain doesn't organize things very well up front. So I'd rather not organize things at all and then organize them as the structure becomes a little more apparent. At least that's the theory. Maybe in practice I'm just not very good at it, at organizing, and it's just a skill I need to improve. I don't know. I guess time might tell. Okay. Anyway, so we have a working environment here. I need this to work. I understand it, but as things grow, you need to have some structure. Oh, totally. I'm not saying structure is not useful. I'm saying it's very, very useful. I'm just not good at figuring it out up front. I'm not denying the importance of structure. how do I want to do this? Well, okay, a little notes section here. Fix order issues. For example, style element is in transforms but is used prior by cubic Bezier function. Technically it's not needed, but is used for debug visuals. Come up with a smarter debug visuals method. Perhaps a macro that injects style elements or something. I don't know what I'm. Anyway, that's a whole other set of things. It doesn't matter at the moment. Okay, there we go. We finally have the closed path function working once again. That's good. Took a little longer than I wanted, but that's my own fault. That's not. That's just the way it goes sometimes. There. Notes / issues. Yeah, that's fine. I was saying the thought about structure again. One thing I've found for myself anyway to be tough with Clojure, and maybe this isn't Clojure specific, but it focuses a lot on functions and code as data, that kind of stuff, right? So a lot of times, if you look at libraries and stuff that people have made, they work wonderfully, but the organization of the source code is like, it's literally just kind of a bundle of functions in a few files with names that are kind of sometimes important or relevant, but sometimes not, or they're not, it's not immediately clear all the time. Basically what I'm saying is, generally speaking, you just write functions that work on data, which I think is great, but it can lead to, or it can, for me anyway, make it hard to see how to build a structure out of it, right? It feels a lot like you're just kind of saying, here's a toolbox full of a bunch of tools, and you can build a tool out of it and run your own sort of thing, which is really cool, but it's not overly structured. So finding the right balance of lack of structure with structure is it's a thing that I don't have clear thoughts in my head about. Maybe that's just a me thing, I don't know, but I found it to be sometimes a challenge. My solution is to try and add structure, but not too much, and to move things around a little bit. And as things get more, like as I change things less and less, then that kind of becomes the structure a little bit. Gives you a lot of freedom, which is good. Yeah, I think so, but it does make, like, some of the ways to think about structuring it do become a little more challenging. I'm not complaining, I'm just observing at least how I've been dealing with the language, you know? I'm no expert, I'm just doing what I can to make tools that are fun and useful for me. That's really the truth of it. and I want to make it useful not only to me, but eventually useful to other people as well, right? It's nice if something's useful for yourself, but it's kind of a lot more fun too. Feels fulfilling in some way if other people are interested in using your tools too. So everything has its pros and cons. Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the nice things about Clojure is that Rich Hickey, the creator of the language, embraces the fact that things have pros and cons, right? Like he's, as an individual, at least as it comes out in the talks he gives, is rather opinionated, right? And he doesn't necessarily say this is right and that is wrong, but he says this is the reality of this particular choice, and it is what Clojure is doing, right? He's not saying necessarily that Clojure is the one and true best way to do programs, but he's saying these are the choices Clojure's sticking with, and if those don't work for you, don't worry about it. Don't use the language then, right? Or, build around it if you really want. But he sticks with his sort of opinions and decisions. And I do think that's probably a useful way to make decisions in general. So as a philosophical, quote unquote, approach to life and decisions in general, I find it fascinating. And I find it even more fascinating when you apply that kind of thinking to developing a language. It's one of the high-level reasons I like Clojure too. Rich seems like a cool, like a unique sort of thinker, and that's compelling in some way. Okay, what do I do now? Let's have one more look at how, is there an obvious improvement to the ordering of things here? Let's make another function here actually that actually, let me think about this just for a second. Close path string of A. Oops. Right, that's a string. Path string to path was something I was working on before, and that turns into a map of type line closed true, which is fine. I see. If I should maybe change the name of this function to I would call it polygon, but I already have a polygon function that works off a list of points already. Right, it uses the SVG polygon thing directly. So if I call it path polygon maybe, and the reason I would do that is because there would be some equivalent path polyline, basically. And I would change this to path polygon string. Oops. Right, and then you just do path polygon string here. The reason I'm thinking I might have to restructure this a bit is because it is possible to build, I guess you could call them compound paths in SVG, where you've got a bunch of straight line segments and arcs and Beziers all in one single path element. And I haven't built that functionality yet. Any call to path right? I could feed it the same list of points, but it doesn't put it into the same path element. It creates two path elements, which is, so you can't compose, or like you can't make a compound path at the moment. So I need to be able to do that, and I'm wondering if there's a more intelligent way to structure this to build it out that way. Not sure if that makes sense. I'm not sure if I know how to handle it yet. That's why. That's fine though. Let's see if will that work first of all. Well, let's finish this off. How about that? Path polygon string and path polyline string. The only difference on this one is that I don't have to close it with the Z at the end. And then path polygon and path polyline are all exactly the same, except I don't know why I'm deleting things this way. That's a little weird, but whatever. Okay, so that should work. I'm pretty sure I'm missing something here in the sense that these extra string functions, I'm pretty sure I could abstract it away a little bit, and I'll just revisit that later, because I don't, if I'm going through that on stream, it's too boring, and I'm not gonna do a good job if I do it on stream. So have you tried transducer? Could make it a bit cleaner. So transducers are on my list of things to learn. I've tried to learn and use them myself and haven't been successful. But that's mostly due to lack of effort on my part, to be honest. I'm totally not opposed to it. The real reason is I just don't have the confidence yet to use them in what I think is the correct way. So there we go. Yeah, I know they exist. I know they're powerful ideas. I just haven't properly sat and studied them. That's the honest truth. I'd whip them out if I could, but don't perfectly understand them yet. Really? Nothing in Clojure docs for transducers? Did I typo something? Let's see. Transducers. See, this sounds fantastic. Transducers are composable algorithmic transformations. It sounds like something a really smart person would say. Independent of context and specify only the essence of the transformation. So I've looked into them before, right? And defining my own, that's where I got stuck, where you have to, what is it? Using them is fine, transduce, transform. Right, so this here, right, the function transduces, I understand that. It'll immediately reduce over the collection with the transducer transform. This here is the part that I don't understand yet, how to properly build an X form. That's where I am tripped up at the moment. Anyway, that's just me rambling here. So this here, result input, blah blah blah. I think what actually, now that I think about it, when I first tried to read through and understand transducers, it was like it was a few months ago at least, and I was a little fresh with the language even then. There's still much to learn, but I bet I could learn it a little more effectively at this time, so it's on the list. It's just okay. Anyway, that's a tangent. I don't mind tangents. Okay. Okay, that works. If I go here, this should be polygon path, which I have to fail to build. Changing names, always a little, oop, not what I meant to do. No? What did I do? I may have messed up a little bit there. Okay. Oh, path polygon is what it is. Okay. No? Yes. Okay. Man, I'm letting things get really messy. These are just little test environments I keep throwing together, but I think I have to come up with a better build up and tear down approach, because it does start to get it does get a little too messy. It's not the most like clean or professional approach, you know? Okay. Okay. Okay, that's working. That looks ridiculous, but it works. I wonder what happens if I do this. Hey, cool. It's not helpful, but it's certainly neat. Let's do a second. That should make them horizontal, right? Yeah, cool. I wonder if I could do sort by some weird thing where I do I don't think this will work. I'm curious though. Huh, it does. Cool. Oh, that's pretty neat. Alright, that's a total, this is totally me not, this is me slacking off. Let's get rid of sort by, I don't need it there. Point set. Back to a messy set of triangles, that's good. Okay, so I'm not getting compile warnings here, which is what I was trying to figure out there. Okay, so I've got path polygon. Where am I at here? Right here, path polyline and path polygon working okay. That is good. Right, so now let's get back to cubic Bezier, right? That should still perfect. Actually, let me do something just a little bit different here. If I cut let's make it def p there. If I def p as this, it's just a path to work with. That should still draw just fine. And then I can a little more easily, potentially, translate color cubic Bezier. It's a long line, but it should be easy to do now, like this. And instead of cubic Bezier, I do path polygon. But this one is red. Sweet. That's potentially useful. Right, so that's all fine and good, but what should I do next? I wonder if I should try to make a little merge paths function. Let's do that. Let's make a prototype merge paths thing. So and paths elements. That's fine, I guess. Let me make a note here for myself. Write a style guide that I must reference for naming things. I always mix short, long form and change how I refer to points, paths, elements, etc. This is confusing. I should standardize by writing a doc and of course following it. So so define what I mean by element. Anyway, this might be best done with a Clojure spec. Clojure dot Clojure. Yeah. A little tangent for myself, but that's an important thing. Okay. Right, so this merge paths thing here takes and LMs and paths. Let's just call it that for the time being. Merges SVG path elements together. Right, so the obvious thing to do is, the really simple thing is for path in paths, you do, oh wait a minute, I don't need a for, let's just do map d paths, right? So actually no, it'll be get in 1d paths. Is that correct? Let's find out. Let's do path polygon of A is a path element. So if I do get in 1d, does that give me the string? Whoops. No. It should be I thought that would work. What? Oh, did I do it wrong again? You got to do the collection and then the keys. There we go. Oh man, this is a whole big mess. Okay, so map get in the map, right? Get in whatever from this key set, map that function over paths. There we go. Right? So if I run this over def b as this, just for simplicity, right? If I do merge paths and paths, if I do b, 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 okay, it's a list. Okay, good. That's good. Now, I could just do this. I could do path, and you take apply string to that of, oh, you apply string to the interpose of this with new line. Now let's try that. So if I run merge paths on this, it should give me a single path element with this thing and then that and then that. Okay, so let's see if I can do that, right? Right, let's give that a shot. So what I want to do actually here is make a second path. Let's do PA, PB, and let's go to where's that? I always forget the toolbox here. Scale 1. Right, let's just make this path B. Okay. Right, so now, did something go wrong? Oh yeah, of course. PA. Comment that one out here. Let's now do svg/translate. Yes, that's fine. We don't need to translate this actually. Let's just do, well, for ease, we do 0, 0. Oh, that's, sure, that's fine. svg/color blue. svg/path polygon PB. Okay. Let's see if this should work. Okay, we're in the money. 50, 50. Okay, perfect. Kinda. And now if I get rid of the color call in these cases, then it should give me a black fill by default, which is ugly but useful for what I need to check. Okay, so now I can't see those, which is totally fine. Now what I do is svg/merge points or merge paths, and it should take any number of paths, so it should take this and this, no problem. Save that. It should probably fail because it hasn't refreshed. There we go. Okay, that is pretty cool. So this now, because this is a cutout here, right? Path A is fully inside path B, as you can see. It's merging them, and if I look at the tree here, it's fully contained in a single path, which is pretty nice. I'm happy with that. So if I now swap this upward here, you get this, the path is still merged, but obviously it's, you've got these weird errors. Well, it's not an error. Everything's working as expected. It's just not a valid real world geometry you can make, but that's fine for now. It's just proof that this is working the way I expected, which is always fun. I like it when things are working the way I expect them to work. That's a good thing. Now I was reminded of a function. I want to see if it still works. I have source stylo draw.cljc. Okay, a bunch of errors there. Stylo.draw/point. Yeah, okay. We're gonna have, so the draw namespace is gonna need a ton of work in the near future. That's okay. That is just the way it goes. So now what I do want to check actually is so I have the basic merge paths, which is fine. What if I have well, let's not sit around and think about it. Let's try some things out. Color blue. Blue and red, simple colors. So those are the line colors. No, why not? Oh. No, why not? Do the translate elements override the color? Oh, that might be, shoot, I don't like that. Let's see. Oh, I know why. It doesn't matter. Right, so this, there we go. It does work. Right, what was happening there is this merge paths thing took precedence. So if I were to do something up here, style element, svg merge, and I do fill slate gray and stroke pink, hot pink, let's do hot pink. Right there. So these here, blue and red, they lose meaning because this style, the way I wrote this merge paths thing is it ends up discarding any like attributes that it had, like visual attributes. So is there a right way to? Yeah, you could do let props be how does that work? Okay, color blue path polygon. That means you take oh shoot, it would be right. So you could have a rule where the style from the last thing in the in your list gets used. So let's actually, I should build that in for a moment. Yeah, I'm gonna do that just for a minute. I think that's reasonable behavior. Okay, so to do that, right, you do let your props be second from last of paths. That gets the full properties map. And then all you do is this is maybe not the smart approach, but you can do this, merge oh shoot, let me I deleted something that's useful. Okay, so here this D yes, that makes sense. That'll work. And then you just do this, you do path and then assoc props D, and that should work. Let's see if that works. Oops. Right, so if we do merge paths of B with color blue B and color green B, we should see the color stroke be green, but if I swap the order here, blue, green, it should be blue. Okay, that looks good. So let's see if that actually works. Okay. It's not a valid color. Okay, there we go. That's working now. Good. That's useful, I think. keeping props from last path in the list. I guess that's fine. It's good enough for now. Right, so the next question is, right, if you merge with just a single one, what's this now? What am I looking at here? Oh, I went too far. Here. Okay, this cubic Bezier function, this is, so what's messing me up is I'm trying to add all these other utility things in there, and they're using functions that aren't declared yet. That's why I've got this stuff going on. That's all. That's what's happening. Okay. A little frustrating, right? But if I declare, translate, declare, rotate, declare, scale, that theoretically gets rid of everything as a problem, but all of that stuff I need to clean up. Like, I need to really look and clean it up anyway. Right, so this does work. If you merge paths with a single path in there, it just leaves the path, which is fine. Let me see what happens if I, instead of do path polygon, I call cubic Bezier. It should make a valid Bezier function. Why is this still? One, two, three, four, 5, 6 points. That should, maybe it needs 8 points. Let's try it. Oh. Let's try that. Let's get rid of those. Don't need that. Not a fan of that. What happened? All I wanted to do, oh, maybe this is not working yet with the merge paths thing. Oops, that's gonna break. Okay, so the merge paths doesn't work yet with cubic Bezier, I guess. Okay, that's fine. It just means I have to figure it out. Right. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and merge paths. Right, so that's not going to work. Oh, it's because right now my cubic Bezier function is actually outputting a whole group of things, and my merge paths thing is naive. So let me change this function here. Cubic Bezier, pardon me, cubic Bezier debug, and we'll make cubic Bezier like that. And here I just get rid of, I have to get rid of this G and this G here and just run path with this. Let's make sure it all works or makes sense. Points let curve and S curves. Path then is, you call path with apply string, interpose spaces between the first curve and then the S curves. That should work fine. Okay, so I saved that. Now I just reload this. And then this. Well, not quite. That's fine though. There we go. Okay, now it works. So hot pink will change. Yeah, we're good there. Red. Okay. Wonder what happens now. Style element. Even this has the even odd thing in there. That's okay, that's potentially useful. Oh, I'll be back in just a second. I gotta check this. Okay. Well, let's see now what happens if I do merge a path polygon. That makes sense that that would happen. And polyline. Okay, so one thing I guess there's merge paths, and then I could have another function that's join paths. What's the generic term for this? Constructive paths, path algebra, merge, join. I'll leave it at combining. Combine paths. There. Yeah, sure. That's good. Okay. Join paths then is a little different, where it takes. So what is the difference here? Let's see if I can understand this myself. Right. So a path string here. Oh, that's the wrong. Nope, that's wrong. Let's copy that. If I def p in here as this, yes, no. Okay, that did work. Okay, so if I print line that, what I have here is basically this here. M is just a move operation. So it's like if there's a pen and you're drawing on a piece of paper, M 62337 means take the pen off the paper, move the tip of the pen to that corresponding XY position on the paper, and then depending on what the next, like since this is a C, that means place your pen down and draw a cubic Bezier according to these conditions. And S has a similar meaning. But basically, this path here, it's one path, but inside the string, it's got another M here, which corresponds to from where you were last, you do a move operation, which is different than a draw, right? So move is always lift the pen, move that pen in the air, so it's not producing a line, and then place it down again. So, right, if I let's see what makes sense here. I could actually, let me do, let's redefine P as, I'm going to copy this string, but I'm just going to manually edit it for a minute here, since that's pretty easy to do in this case. All I need to do is take off this M, turn it into an L, and that should draw this as a continuous thing. Okay, so print line P. Now, okay, so now what I'm going to do is go and copy this, put it in this environment in the Clojure side for a minute. PC is this. Oops. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, PC. And then I do def joined path is this element here. It's path which contains actually, let's just leave it path like that. Fill, even, odd, that doesn't matter. And then it has the string D. Oh wait, sorry, I can actually, let me get rid of that. I can just do svg/path PC. I don't need to do that. I could just do this. Let's get rid of this merge altogether. Oops. Let's just do that. And then this is just svg/path calling with PC. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Good. Fill slate gray. Actually, fill none. Stroke black. There we go. Okay, so this does in fact work differently. Oh, did I mess something up here? Oh, yeah, this. No. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Point is, I need to get the join paths situation to okay. Okay, there we go. Kinda. Did I mess something up? I guess so. Right, so merge paths should work with these still. Why doesn't it? Style element. Yeah, there. Okay, that should, I think, there. Okay. Right, so this is what this test path that I made here is joined. And by that it was the Bezier curve, and then separately there's this here, but I joined it by there's a connecting point from the end of one to the start of the next. But in red is the merge, which is which puts it into a single path element, but does not in any way connect them. Like they could be fully separated without issue. I wonder if there's a way, or if, what would that be called? Right, because merge and join are similar but confusing. I'll leave it that way for now. But so that's this black here. This is the behavior I want from a join. So I have to treat things a little bit differently. That's all. It's not that hard. I just have to think about right. So what I need to do here is let path strings be map D over paths. Okay. And in fact, what I'll do right away is I'll get paths to be path string to path to, no, I gotta fix the order here. So paths is gonna be map, the function, right, okay. Map this some function over paths, right? And some function in this case is going to be path string to path of the D string from each path. That's all that means. That should work. Then so let's test that right away. So if I do join paths of B, 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 null. No, something didn't work, eh? B, oh right, this has to be get in 1D and then that should work. Yep. Nope. Yes. Okay. Right. So it is correctly pulling those. Then what it should have to do is what happens if I make a L align to the same point like twice in a row? What happens? Is it valid? Does it break things? Oh, I'm copying this. Yes. Okay, it doesn't seem to break anything, but it makes the string longer than it needs to be, obviously. Pardon me, getting a little tired. Right, so, well, let's actually do the easiest. Let's the easiest possible thing I could do is here, just like, so all merge paths does is bundle the strings from each path together into a single one and then reapply, like put it back into a path element. I could actually do the same thing, and the only difference is I add a little sneaky thing in here where before I do this here, I do strings is equal to this thing. Oh, I've messed something up here. There. Okay, so here, strings is map, get in, this whole thing, and then I actually just replace M with L, and that guarantees a connection. But that's kind of a messy join, and it ignores things like what if you join to Bezier. Pardon me. This actually could get really complicated, the join function. But I'll finish this out with the basic one, and then once that's done, I'll probably end my stream a little bit early today because I'm going a little slow, feeling a little tired, you know. You know how that goes. Sometimes that's how it goes. Okay, strings. Right, so map this function, get in, blah, blah, blah. And what I'm doing is s/replace, replace, this string, and you're going to replace the match with this. Yeah, so replace M with L, and then you're good to go. Yes? Let's find out if this actually makes sense. Okay, that's that. Oh, something, there we go. Join paths, let's see. Wrong. S/replace. String, match, replacement. Doesn't have to be that way, it can just be that. Or it has to be like that. There we go. Okay, so after a new line, instead of an M, you see an L. Okay, so that is a basic join path situation. Save that. Tangle successfully. Okay, that's good. And now I go over here and right, so let's get rid of this test piece there. Merge paths should leave a gap here. It should work. Yeah. And now if I change this to join paths, it doesn't work. That's okay. We can get to a situation where it works. Okay, let's see what's wrong here. Oh, this is actually only, I have to skip the first one. Right, so strings is actually concatenate first of paths. This is messy. I gotta clean this up, but this should work. Concatenate that with map v. Okay, let's see if that works. Right, so the problem there is it replaced the first L in the whole thing as well, and I don't want that. Oh, that still didn't work. Why is that? Because... Oh, this is why. I did this part all wrong. Okay, so get in first of paths 1D. That should, there we go. Okay, that seems to work. Let's refresh this. Let's go merge paths. Yeah. Okay, that's working. Join paths. Yes, okay. That's good. Let's also, just for kicks here, let's do a def and close path. It's just going to take a single path. And actually all this needs to do is let path string be get in path 1D let's actually this, okay, close path is going to be k props like that, right? If I do that, let's just check, let me check my brain here. K props. Right, so if I do close path of B, I get, okay, B is a path, oh that's right, this has to be destructured this way. Right, so now if I close path on a path, I do correctly get, oh, I did that wrong. Close path B. Right, it looks exactly the same because I'm printing it out in exactly the same way. Right, so that's good. So what I can do here is let path string be D of props. Then all I have to do is return the whole thing as K assoc props D with a new path string, which is just s/replace. Oh no, it's not replace. Let's imagine we're given a path string. Oh, excuse me. Actually, all I need to do is this. It's very simple. I can do string, path string, and Z like that. And that should work no matter what the string looks like. I think that makes sense. Right, so we'll find out. We'll make a path polyline, right? So C, path polyline, has no Z at the end, which means it's an open path. So if I do close path of C, it creates the same path string but attaches a Z at the end there. So that seems nice. So what I should now be able to do is run a, so there's join paths, so that's this. And if I run a close path over this, this point and that point should now also be met together. So close path, this thing. if I just slap another paren there, this will break for a minute. If I refresh it, yeah, sweet, so that works. Is it smart to make that as a function, or does it make more sense to have it be like some kind of check with join and merge, right? I don't know the right way to handle that yet, but these are prototype path combinations here. Compound paths, that is straight segments combined in various ways with curves as well. It is necessary for faces with holes. Example, a square with a smaller circle contained within. Shape in general. Right, so right, let's see, what is there something useful I can do now? Let's have a look at the draw, the mess that is the draw namespace now. Containers, there's a figure container, and quadrant figure. Probably I should delete that, but it's fine for now. Okay, parametric, this is gonna be a big mess. Offset. Okay, the offset function is probably pretty useful. Or, yeah. Let me actually now, for fun, I call it fun if you will. Let's go ahead and see if I do load file source stylo draw.cljc. What's the error here? Unable to resolve spec stylo draw point. Okay, so where does that show up? This dimensions thing is also really good. Off for lunch. Nice talking to you. See you work later. Hey, Lambda SGR, thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have a good lunch and have a good day. Maybe I'll see you around again. I really appreciate you joining in. It's always fun for me, and I'm glad that it's nice on your end too. I'll see you later. Oh man, there's so much work to do. Which actually is a good thing. It isn't a problem. It's just when you're tired already for the day, it's just like, well, suddenly you don't want to really do anything, you know? Does that make any sense? I think it makes sense. But we have some nice, like the curve functions they're really cool that they actually work at all, which I'm happy about. They're definitely not intuitive enough yet, but I'll get there for sure. as a total aside, I want to see what happens if SVG animate. I was just reminded, this might actually be a fun thing to put in the SVG layer. Interesting. Okay, so let's imagine if I have a path, nope, if I have a path B. Count, there's 2 elements in there. If I do conj a string, no dice. Oh, right. Conj onto B a string. That part becomes the contents of that. So what I could do to make an animation, I could conj animate attribute name what are the attribute names that I can animate? There's one, I think it's called length or something, or distance. This is totally not on pace with whatever I was doing before, but it's a fun tangent, so I'm gonna be okay with it for now. Let's see, SVG animate path length. Let's see what the attribute name should be for that, because I know you can do it. Okay, let's see here. I think it is just path length, right? Yes, yes. Yes, that's fine. That's cool. This is using CSS though, which is not what I'm looking for. Okay, not what I thought. Let's go to this here, path length. Animatable attributes, let's see. Okay, no, that's CSS. I don't want that. I want SVG, please. Attribute, target attributes, attribute name. Hey. This is very dense documentation. It's not a problem. I just am not in a reading mood, you know. That is when determining corresponds to an attribute name. I just want a list of valid attribute names. That's all. Attributes to identify the target attribute or property for an animation. The following attribute identifies the target attribute or property for the given target element whose value changes over time. Yes, I understand that. That is fine. Right, so I think it might be path length, but I just don't know what the proper like from to parameters are. Okay, relative length units? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, let me see if there is just some, let me just go ahead and inspect things and just mess around directly. Usually jumbling things up leads to knowledge gain, sort of. Well, let's try. Let's path length. Okay. Okay. Path length. Okay, where are we here? SVG, animate. Let's try again. Animate attribute name, value. Pardon me. Values, duration, values, something. We'll do 0, 100. 0. Duration, let's do 5 seconds. Repeat count indefinite. Okay, so that is the animate test piece here. And this SVG here, if I do conj onto that whole thing, the animate, it should still produce a valid element, but it should potentially have an animate feature to it. Okay, so we have, let's see here. This is the path, and it has an animate thing here. Okay, so I'm just not animating a valid property at this time, which is fine. I just need to figure out what the property is, that's all. Okay, so this conj thing works, which is pretty cool. It actually means you can make, like, I basically get animation for free. Like, it's just not hard to make animation bits and just conj them in. Let's change this though for a minute to see here. So if I make the value 2 to 10 to 2 of stroke width instead, okay, so it does animate, which is pretty cool. All right, that's nice. That's really cool. That's a little unsettling for some reason, but okay, so animation works like almost out of the box, which is really cool. Just need to conj it onto the thing. That's fun. That's pretty cool. Okay, so right. So what I wanted though is not that. I'm gonna get going very soon, but I want to find the attributes that are possible to animate, is what I'm trying to say. Animate motion. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool. See, this kind of stuff is actually going to be useful for certain classes of documents that I want to start working on. Like, it'll be really cool to have animations and not just static figures. So this is exciting, actually. Right, so animate motion is really cool because I could actually make a motion function that just takes all my path functions to build arbitrary kind of paths, which is really good. So I do still need to figure out what let's just guess and try to figure out what it might be. And let's make it 0 and 1 and 0. Let's see. Not that. Okay, so it's not that. Path length is not it. Well, let's see. Are there CSS path length? No. Let's see here. Maybe this is what I'm trying to duplicate for a minute. Stroke dash array. I mean, that looks cool. That's not what I want. Well, actually, let's try stroke dash offset starts at 0. No, starts at 1000, ends at 0, and starts at again at 1000. Okay, that's not it. Well, it's not quite it anyway. I really thought there'd be like an easier way to do this. Apparently not. Yeah. I so thought this would be a little more straightforward, but that's okay. Sometimes these things are just a little harder. It's not a big deal though. Wonder what this looks like though, just out of curiosity here. That's pretty cool. That's pretty nifty. Cassie. Nice work, Cassie Codes. Don't know this person at all. But that's a pretty cool animation. Not bad. It's pretty neat. But that's not what I'm after. Let's see here. Stroke. Okay, that's neat, I guess. Display, dominant baseline, enable background, fill, filters, flood color. There's a lot of features in SVG as it turns out. But I don't want to overdo things. I don't need everything. I just need some things. Shape rendering. What's this? Hints to render geometric precision or crisp edges. Huh, that's pretty cool actually. I'm gonna not use it though. I think the default is auto, which is probably good enough for what I need. That kind of lets the user's default setup in their browser do what it wants. I think that's a good approach. Okay, so this is still this. I'm just going back to the same thing and it's not showing me. SVG path animations. Yeah. Okay. Well, I am going to call it for today. I am very happy with a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of notes taken here to fix up, which is always nice to work on. Reasonable approach for a few ideas about merging and joining paths. I never got to the 3D side of things because I recognize there's a lot to do here and I should focus on some of it off stream. But it was a little slower of a day, to be honest. Not my best work today, but I came at it, I kept doing work, and I got a few things done, which is nice. So pretty happy with that. Thanks anyone for watching. Thanks for chatting. I always appreciate that. If you're watching this after on Twitch or on YouTube or something like that, thanks so much. Please consider giving a follow, a like, a subscribe, a comment. All of those sorts of engagement things really do help me out. This is something I really like doing. I want to keep doing it. I want to make it better, and I want to make it more valuable both for myself and for people viewing. So please feel free to engage if you're feeling generous in that way. I would love it. In the meantime, I'm going to get going for the day. I will be back tomorrow. I have a different idea. I really want to focus up tonight and try get ready for tomorrow because I think it's a fun idea. And that's all I have to say. I'm going to go. Have a good one, everyone.